You train 6 days a week, you hit each muscle twice, you're doing 25 sets per muscle group across the week, you feel sore basically all the time, you're tired most days. Your sleep is broken from how beaten up your body feels. And you've been doing this for 2 years because every single influencer, every program, every gym culture norm has told you that more is more, that you need to earn your gains, that the people getting bigger than you must be doing more work than you. So you keep adding sets, adding sessions, adding intensity techniques, adding drop sets, rest pause, forced reps, partials. Your training looks like a complete catalog of every advanced technique that exists. And your physique looks like someone who's been doing 15 sets a week. Because biologically, that's basically what your body is responding to. The rest is junk, the rest is fatigue. The rest is the volume tax that gym culture has been quietly charging an entire generation while delivering basically zero return on the investment. The science on hypertrophy volume has been frustratingly clear for years, and the gym world has been frustratingly committed to ignoring it. Research has consistently shown that meaningful muscle growth happens at much lower volumes than most lifters assume. Studies tracking lifters at different weekly set ranges, 5 sets, 10 sets, 20 sets, 30 sets per muscle per week, have repeatedly found that the curve flattens hard somewhere around 10 to 15 effective sets for most people. Going from 5 to 10 sets produces a significant gain. Going from 10 to 20 sets produces a small additional gain. Going from 20 to 30 sets often produces nothing or actively worse results due to recovery interference. The relationship is not linear. It is not more is more. It is a curve with a clear plateau, and most gym people have been training on the wrong side of that plateau for years, thinking they're maximizing gains when they're actually just maximizing fatigue. Here's the part that should genuinely make you reconsider your entire program. The reason this myth has been so sticky isn't because the research is unclear, it's because gym culture has confused two completely different things. There's training volume that drives growth, and there's training volume that drives fatigue. They are not the same. They are not even closely related. You can do 30 sets in a session and feel absolutely demolished without producing more growth signal than a focused 10-set session would have produced. The pump, the burn, the soreness, these are fatigue markers, not growth markers. Your muscles getting trashed isn't proof that you grew. It's proof that you produced metabolic stress. And while metabolic stress matters, you don't need to drown in it to trigger hypertrophy. The growth signals happens at much lower fatigue levels than the gym world has been claiming for decades. Most lifters have been chasing the feeling of having worked hard instead of the actual stimulus that produces muscle. The concept that's been missing from gym vocabulary is junk volume, sets that produce fatigue without contributing to hypertrophy. A lot of the volume gym people are doing is junk. The last set of an extended drop set, the fifth exercise for a body part that already received 4 solid exercises. The burnout sets at the end of a session when your muscles are already locked in and you're just running yourself into the ground. These sets feel like they're doing something. They are. They're producing fatigue, raising cortisol, eating into your recovery budget, and contributing almost nothing to the muscle growth signal that the first 8 to 12 hard sets already accomplished. Cutting junk volume isn't doing less, it's doing less of the work that wasn't working anyway. And almost every gym person who actually drops their weekly volume by a meaningful amount reports the same thing. They feel better, they recover better, and their gains finally start moving again. So how much volume do you actually need? The research consistently points to a range, roughly 10 to 20 effective sets per muscle per week for most people, with the optimal number varying based on training experience, recovery capacity, sleep quality, and genetics. Beginners build muscle on shockingly low volumes. Intermediate lifters often optimize around 10 to 15 sets. Advanced lifters can sometimes tolerate up to 20-25 sets per muscle per week, but the returns become marginal and the recovery cost becomes significant. Almost nobody benefits from 30 plus sets per muscle per week. The lifters who appear to handle that kind of volume are usually either genetically gifted, chemically enhanced, or quietly making slower progress than they realize. Real natural recovered hypertrophy responds to a far more moderate dose than gym culture has been claiming. The other piece of this conversation that gym culture has been getting wrong is intensity, specifically, how close to failure you train. Research on proximity to failure has consistently shown that sets taken to within 0 to 3 reps in reserve produce the strongest hypertrophy signal. Sets taken with 5 plus reps left in the tank produce less growth even with comparable volume. This means a lot of gym people are doing the worst possible combination: high volume training where most of the sets are nowhere near failure. They're producing maximum fatigue with suboptimal growth signal. The fix is the opposite of what most programs suggest: fewer sets, closer to failure, better recovery, more growth. The gym world has been telling you to add sets when what your body actually needs is to push the sets you're already doing harder while doing fewer of them. The connection back to the hormones arc is direct and uncomfortable. Excessive training volume elevates cortisol chronically. We covered this in video 7. It tanks testosterone. Video 8 made that clear. It blunts the cortisol awakening response, drops the testosterone to estradiol ratio, and creates the exact hormonal state that prevents muscle growth from happening regardless of training stimulus. The gym person doing 30 sets per muscle per week with 5 hours of sleep is not training harder than the person doing 12 sets per muscle per week with 8 hours of sleep. They are training themselves into a hormonal hole. And then they're adding pre workout, fat burners, and test boosters to dig out of a hole they're still digging deeper every session. Individual variation matters here too. Some lifters genuinely can handle more volume, some need less. Your favorite influencer's program might be totally wrong for your recovery capacity, your genetics, your sleep quality, your stress level. The answer isn't following a famous program religiously. The answer is autoregulation, listening to your body's actual response to volume and adjusting in real time. If your lifts are dropping week to week, your volume is too high. If your sleep is getting worse, your volume is too high. If your motivation to train is fading, your volume is probably too high. The body sends signals before it sends symptoms. Most lifters ignore the signals. So what does fixing this look like in practice? Start by actually counting your weekly sets per muscle group. Most people are doing more than they realize. Aim for 10 to 20 hard sets per muscle per week, taken close to failure with adequate recovery between sessions. Cut junk volume. Stop adding exercises just because they exist. Stop chasing the pump as if it's proof of progress. Put within 0 to 3 reps. Take deload weeks every 4 to 8 weeks where you volume by half. Track your strength progression. If you're going up over time, you're not building muscle no matter how much you're training. The body grows in response to a stimulus, not in response to suffering. And the lifters who finally figure this out usually grow more in their first 6 months of training smart than they did in their previous 2 years of training hard. Your volume isn't your dedication. Your volume is your problem.